Councillor Richardson, I think, Ms. Bauer, do we want to wait till 7 for the feed, I think? Yeah.
We
Call the public hearing for October 20th to order. And of course, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, and in particular, acknowledge our valued relationships with the Katzie, Kwantlen, and Matsqui, Semiahmoo First Nations. I'd like to move the agenda amended to include an other business opportunity just before termination. That, I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, moved by Councillor Pratt, seconded by Councillor Ferguson. I don't call the question. Any discussion? No, call the question on that agenda as amended. That carries unanimously. So we start with the Fraser Valley Fusion 2010, won gold at the 2025 U15 National Fast Pitch Championship held in Winkler, Manitoba this past August. Not only did you win gold apparently, but 5 out of their 9 victories were shutouts. So that's pretty cool. They won the final gold medal game 2-1, hosting Team Central Energy. So congratulations to each and every one of you. Please come up individually and accept your certificates on behalf of all of us. We'll get individual photos, and then we'll get a chance for all of council to get a large group photo with you at the end. And we'll do your team, and I'll have to come back so people at home can hear the remarks, but then we'll do one team at a time. So we'll start. Okay, well, congratulations again to the for a job well done. And now on to North Langley U11 Trappers with head coach Matt Trenholm. Won the 2025 BC Minor Basketball Provincials this past August as well. Baseball. See? Typos, right. I can't blame the staff on this one. That was my fault. So minor baseball provincials this past August at Bob Burnett Field in North Delta. And again, an outstanding, apparently, says here, outstanding 20-4 record for their summer ball season, which ended with a 16-6 win. It was a close one, apparently, at Cloverdale Spurs to take the BC Championship. So again, congratulations. Fabulous. Fabulous and outstanding season. And again, please come up individually and accept your certificates, and then we'll get a group photo at the end.
A public hearing is a statutory requirement under Section 464 of the Local Government Act and must be held before third reading of a community plan, land use contract amendment bylaw, heritage designation bylaw, or heritage revitalization agreement bylaw. During a public hearing, council acts in a quasi-judicial role for the purpose of allowing persons who believe their interest in property is affected by a bylaw, permit, or other matter to make representations to council either orally, by written submission, or to add comments to or elaborate upon correspondence that may have already been presented to council concerning the bylaws. It is important to note that council is not able to receive any additional information on the bylaws following the public hearing as dictated by case law. The hearing procedure involves an explanation from the Community Development Division on the purpose of the proposed bylaws and to hear from individuals regarding the bylaws. In order to ensure that all interested parties have a reasonable opportunity to be heard, speakers are requested to keep representations as brief and succinct as possible and no longer than 5 minutes in duration, excluding the time required for questions from council. Speakers will be asked to state their name, neighborhood, and city for the record. And if referring to prepared remarks, to submit copies of these to the township clerk. Decorum must be always maintained. This includes refraining from applause, booing, or heckling. To assist with large numbers of speakers, individuals must advise the township clerk and sign the speakers list prior to the commencement of the public hearing. The names on the speakers list will be read out during the hearing. Individuals who have already addressed council and wish to add further submissions will wait until the people that have not yet addressed council have had an opportunity to speak. All submissions and speaker lists are considered part of the public record. Council members should not express their views nor debate the bylaws. However, they may question speakers to clarify particular points in their submissions. Council may consider third reading or third reading and final adoption at this meeting or at its next regular meeting. Thank you.
Mr. Richardson, item C1.
Thank you, Your Worship. The subject will be Community Plan and Northeast Gordon Estate Neighborhood Plan Amendment and rezoning applications pertaining to a proposed development consisting of 83 townhouses at 7100 and 7126 206th Street and 7119 and 7143 207th Street. The 3.8 acre site is designated residential in the Willoughby Community Plan and residential A in the Northeast Gordon Estate Neighborhood Plan. This air photo depicts a site located between 206th and 207th Street, south of 72nd Avenue. Proposed Willoughby Community Plan and Northeast Gordon Estate Neighborhood Plan Amendment Bylaw 6154 designates the site multifamily to permit a townhouse development form at 22 units per acre on a site-specific basis. Rezoning Bylaw 6155 rezones the subject site from suburban residential SR2 to comprehensive development zone 215 to accommodate the proposal. This slide indicates the proposed site plan with vehicular access from 206th and 207th Street. Staff recommends support of Willoughby Community Plan and Northeast Gordon Estate Neighborhood Plan Amendment Bylaw 6154 and rezoning Bylaw 6155, subject to 11 conditions noted on page 8 of Council's agenda. Your Worship, a total of 80 notices were delivered, no written submissions have been received, and there were no individuals noted on the speakers list.
All right, thank you. Is there any submissions from the public on item C1? For a second time, are there any submissions from the public on item C1? And for a third and final time, are there any submissions from the public on item C1? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing for public portion of the public hearing for C1. Does the proponent here wish to make the submission? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing for item C1. Does any member of council wish to move consideration of third reading? Moved by Councillor Pratt, seconded by Councillor Rint. Call the question. That carries unanimously. Does anybody wish to move the recommendation? Moved by Councillor Pratt, seconded by Councillor Ferguson. Is there any discussion on C1? Seeing none, call the question on C1, third reading. That carries unanimously. Mr. Richardson, item C2.
Thank you, Worship. The subject will be Community Plan and Northeast Gordon Estate Neighborhood Plan Amendment and rezoning applications pertaining to a proposed townhouse development consisting of 83 units at 6982 206th Street. The 5-acre site is designated residential in the Willoughby Community Plan and single family in the Northeast Gordon Estate Neighborhood Plan. This therefore depicts a site located between 206th and 207th Street at 70th Avenue. Proposed Willoughby Community Plan and Northeast Gordon Estate Neighborhood Plan Amendment Bylaw 6090 designates the site multifamily and townhouse. Rezoning Bylaw 6091 rezones the subject site from suburban residential SR2 to comprehensive development zone 215 to accommodate the proposal. This slide indicates the proposed site plan with vehicular access from a proposed 70th Avenue. Staff recommends support of Willoughby Community Plan and Northeast Gordon Estate Neighborhood Plan Amendment Bylaw 6090 and rezoning Bylaw 6091, subject to 8 conditions listed on page 8 of Council's agenda. Your Worship, a total of 105 notices were delivered, 2 written submissions have been received, and there are no individuals noted on the speakers list.
All right, thank you. Is there any submissions from the public on item C2? For a second time, are there any submissions from the public on item C2? And for a third and final time, are there any submissions from the public on C2? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion of the public hearing for C2. Is the proponent present wish to make a submission? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing for item C2. Does any member of council wish to move consideration of third reading? Moved by Councillor Rint, seconded by Councillor Bailey. I'll call the question. That carries unanimously. Does anybody wish to move the recommendation? Moved by Councillor Pratt, seconded by Councillor Rint. Is there any discussion or questions on C2? Seeing none, call the question on C2, third reading. That carries unanimously. Other business. So I do have a statement under other business, but if anybody else has any other business, and anybody's welcome to react to the statement, I think it's appropriate and timely. So on behalf of council and the Township of Langley, I'm thrilled to announce that we have secured a grant of $25 million through the Green and Inclusive Community Buildings Program. A new concert and performance hall at the Langley Events Center will support Langley and the region's growing population by providing a state-of-the-art venue for artistic and cultural programming. The facility will host concerts, multicultural celebrations, Indigenous gatherings, school graduations, special ceremonies, conferences, and a wide variety of community events. The hall will be fully accessible and feature a net zero design that exemplifies energy efficiency and climate resilience. It's expected to deliver long-term social and economic benefits, not only to the region, but Langley, addressing a long-standing community need and enhancing the quality of life for our residents. This council made it a priority and completed the funding agreement, a requirement to complete, which requires a council commitment to the project. We completed this the past March, just before the last federal election, to ensure that any new government would have to follow through on the grant last March. This council also funded $1 million from previously approved funding for major projects to begin a progressive design build process to finalize the facility's size, scope, components, and timeline, and budget developments for public consultation and council's future consideration. This was also approved last March. Council was working with the federal government to make this public in November with a positive, inclusive, and community-oriented announcement and celebration after the local by-election. Obviously, that's no longer possible. Also incorrectly posted is the necessary timeline conditions of the grant, which we need to clarify. As a community, we do not have until 2029, as people are incorrectly spreading, but only until the end of 2026 to make a final decision on this project. This council has taken the necessary steps to ensure we don't potentially lose the grant to a new government, but also to ensure we meet necessary timelines. This project has been a long time coming, and I want to thank the many countless advocates in our community who have long beat the drum to have this project built in our community. Not just one, not just two, including in a significant way the advocacy of John Aldag, just as he did for the Aldergrove Community Center as well. It's a shame, honestly, that exciting news like this was posted as it was in the way that it was. But there's nothing we can do about that now. And an important reminder that some regular sources on the internet, especially since this really was a desire to be announced only after the by-election was over with incorrect information. And again, as I said, a community-oriented event and celebration. Thanks again to staff who helped make this happen, especially advancing the Langley Event Center public plan, now public for all to see, not in closed meetings, including the next phase. Hopefully, finally, a concert and performance hall at the Langley Event Center within our arts, sports, and entertainment district. With this council advancing the arts component for the future, for potentially this council or the next one, to advance this project. I want to thank again everyone who had a hand in making this happen, and unfortunately had to make this statement here tonight. Does any member of council wish to make any comments? Councillor Pratt, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. I think everybody's excited about this project. I think everybody has been eager to see this one get to this point. Talking sort of through this, and I think it was 2018 that I wrote a letter to the editor saying we needed to get serious about a performing arts center. So it's been great to be a small part of getting it to this point. Didn't quite make it over the finish line in 2018 to be a part of the council to advance it, but excited to be here now. And I honestly wanted to just commend staff for continuously working on this project, continuously bringing it to the fore, and to making it a priority for the township. And really pleased to be able to participate in this announcement, even if it's not exactly the way it was intended to go.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we can finally talk about this. We, not long after we were elected, we were introduced to this concept in this building, and have been going on and behind the scenes quietly talking about a wonderful project. I've had more than a few interesting conversations with now MLA Van Popta about this, where we disagreed, since I'm not a real big member of the arts and that stuff, and I know she was a driving force behind this, as well as the staff have been incredibly patient with me, especially when I asked some questions and looked for alternative funding sources from the provincial government quite a while ago also. So I'm really glad that, this didn't roll out like it was supposed to, that we can now talk about it. We can talk about it openly and and get input from many people in the community, as I understand that this has been going on for a long time. So glad that it's out in the open.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Bailey. Well, it certainly is that now. Yeah, Councillor Ferguson, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a really exciting time for me today, because a number of years ago, we said, why don't we put a performing arts or an arts and cultural center at the bottom of a building, and we can put the chambers somewhere in that same building. And the design was put, there was a task force, and it just didn't pass. So some of my colleagues decided, well, until we get some money either from the province or from the feds, we won't be able to move ahead. And I respect the decision of councillors of the day, and some of us pay a price for that. And when the federal minister certainly announced it, it's interesting because we really couldn't say much, because we were in camera, same as the Langley Event Center. We were in camera or special clothes for over a year before we could announce we're going to build an event center in Willoughby there. And money was put together by the province under the, I guess, workplace and I guess wood building idea using, I guess, forestry products and wood products. But here we are today, looking at an artistic cultural center with community events, needs for the community, exciting time. The people been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. This is one of the projects I've always wanted to be involved with. And every time we announce something like a pool or a road or a recreation center or a park, folk come up to me, when? It's our time, our turn. When are we going to get our cultural center in place? When's that going to happen? So now the announcement is made. I'm excited. I've waited a long time for this, even before people like MLA Van Popt and others, who was a big champion of this as well. But we behind the scenes have been working for this for many years. And I applaud staff for all the time, energy, and effort they put into it. And I'm really excited about this, Mr. Mayor, and I'm looking forward to moving forward. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Councilor Ferguson. Appreciate that. And just to reiterate some key facts again, the $25 million grant through the Green and Inclusive Community Buildings Program that was an initiative at the 2 federal elections ago. It's for a new concert and performance hall at the Langley Event Center. The funding agreement was completed by this council just prior to the last federal election to ensure the project can go ahead and that a new government doesn't have the opportunity to cancel it, which required some funding, which was also put in place. So this council has initiated the project to meet the terms of the grant, got better beneficial timing of the grant, and the 2029 timeline that's being spread around the internet is incorrect. This project has to be underway no later than the end of next year, at the latest early 2027. So we are setting up the next council to have success with this project, potentially this one as well, if it chooses to move forward more quickly. I think that's a great accomplishment that's been put in place. Key facts are not that it cannot be deferred until 2029 for some mysterious funding plan. It's this council that will do the work to determine how this project moves forward. And that I'm looking forward to being a big part of the discussion for the 2026 budget. So you can't believe everything you see on the internet. I think we're all learning that again and again and again, especially during this by-election. And I want to thank everyone again who had a hand in moving this forward, from staff to the countless community advocates to a wide range of current and previous elected officials. And with that, I'll leave it there. Any more comments? No. Move termination. Moved by Councillor Bailey, seconded by Councillor Pratt. All those in favor, opposed, and that's carried. Thank you very much.